The Harris family, once seen as straight-up hip-hop royalty, is now buried under a mountain of scandal.
Tell it, you was an orphan.
I was never an orphan. That was Batman. That's Batman's story. I'm a grandma boy.
Man,
I like to be in the neighborhood.
Everything fell apart when a wave of leaked photos allegedly tied to King Harris, the son of T.Y. and Tiny, exploded across the internet like dynamite. These weren't just regular selfies either. They were bold, personal, and way too private to be flying around social media like that. The internet lost its mind. Fans were stunned, critics came out swinging, and suddenly the same family once praised as picture perfect was getting dragged through the dirt. People weren't just blaming King. They started calling out T.I. and Tiny too, accusing them of failing their son. The backlash was harsh, and even though King tried to stay quiet, the noise only grew louder and louder. Then came the wildest rumor of all. Word spread that T.I. had allegedly cut off his own son, disowning him right in the middle of the chaos. The man who built his name on family loyalty was now accused of turning his back on his own blood. That shocking twist flipped the entire situation into a circus, and fans couldn't stop asking.
Hey, Kodak Black, you out of pocket, nigga. Fix that shit. Quickly, expeditiously, nigga. You out of pocket, nigga. Ain't nobody else gonna say it, nigga. I done said it to you, nigga, and if I see you, I'ma say it in your face, nigga. You out of pocket, nigga. Get your self together.
What really went down behind those closed doors? For years, the Harris name carried weight in hip-hop. T.I., the self-proclaimed king of the South, wasn't just a rap star. He was a mogul, a businessman, the face of a family empire. His wife Tiny came from R&B royalty with her group Xscape, and together they built a blended family that became TV famous on T.I. and Tiny, the Family Hustle. On camera, they looked like the ultimate power couple, rich, strong, and unshakably tight. But off camera, trouble had been bubbling for years.
You can't be you.
Go. Yeah, man, it's a lot about that TV show, man, that got people confused. Because I live with my grandma. You know, we'll go to the house on like a weekend. They'll say, hey, we shooting today. We need y'all at the house. They'll come get me from my grandma's house. And right after we done, when the cameras go off.
King Harris, born into fame in 2004, wasn't your average celebrity kid. He was loud, flashy, and never afraid to stir things up. At first, fans thought it was funny, but as he got older, that fiery attitude turned into reckless behavior. One scandal led to another, from his wild live stream rants to public blow-ups. Every move dragged his family deeper into drama. Things really hit a breaking point when King became a father, and not without major controversy. He welcomed a child with a much older woman known as Big Nana, and instead of praise, the internet tore him apart. The story blew up instantly, and suddenly, the Harris dynasty wasn't shining anymore. It was cracking in real time. Fans didn't cheer, they judged. Rumors started flying that the pregnancy was just a cover-up for other scandals, maybe even a full-on publicity stunt. Then came the real shocker. A viral TikTok claiming King might not even be the father. Alleged DNA results had people losing their minds, and memes spread like wildfire, clowning the entire Harris family. Tiny tried to clap back by posting family photos with the baby and calling the rumors clickbait, but the internet wasn't having it. Things only got messier when King's sister, Nick Poland, jumped in with a sarcastic tweet. "What street this word come off of, Chili?" That one line sent social media into chaos. Fans started digging up old footage of T.I.'s reaction to King's baby news, and it didn't look proud. It looked tense, maybe even suspicious. Suddenly, whispers about paternity weren't just gossip anymore. They were the storm itself. And just when you thought the drama hit its peak, Kodak Black's old beef with T.I. came crawling back from the grave. Back in 2019, Kodak went off on Instagram Live, firing off personal shots at T.I.'s sons using language that made fans cringe. At the time, everyone brushed it off as trash talk between rappers, but now, with King's leaked photos, baby drama, and questions about his lifestyle, people are rewatching those clips like detectives searching for clues. Was Kodak just trolling, or did he actually know something back then? The fact that T.I. never directly defended King and focused only on protecting his own name is making people talk. His clapbacks were about pride and respect, not about standing up for his son, and that silence is haunting the Harris family now. It's fueling talk that maybe, just maybe, T.I. knew more than he ever let on. Fast forward to 2025. King Harris is in the middle of one of hip-hop's wildest family sagas ever. Between the leaked photos, the baby rumors, and the DNA chaos, his name keeps trending for all the wrong reasons. But then King dropped his own bombshell. He confessed that he never even grew up in that glamorous mansion everyone saw on T.I. and Tiny, the family hustle. According to King, that reality TV life was all smoke and mirrors. He claimed they'd pick him up from his grandmother's house just for filming, make him smile for the cameras, then send him right back. That confession shattered the perfect family illusion, and fans were left wondering what else about the Harris empire was a lie. When the cameras stopped rolling, that revelation shattered the perfect family image for good. It exposed a truth fans didn't see coming. King wasn't raised in a mansion by his superstar parents, but mostly by his grandmother. Instantly, people started connecting the dots. Maybe the lack of real, everyday parenting is what pushed King toward the spotlight. That constant need to be seen, to be heard, to prove he mattered. The signs had been right there all along. King's wild public antics weren't just teenage rebellion, they were desperate cries for attention. He went viral for doing off-the-wall stuff like taking on the one-chip challenge with a homeless man, cussing out a mini-mart worker, and dropping big money on new teeth just to flex online. Every move screamed louder than the last. Notice me. But instead of being known for his music or real talent, King became famous for chaos. He even challenged the late rapper Julio to a boxing match, something fans called a straight-up clout chase. Others warned it was dangerous, especially in a world where rap beefs can turn deadly fast. It was like King was searching for himself but kept pushing the limits of what people would let slide. Then came one of the wildest moments yet, the NFL meltdown. What should have been a chill father-son day at a football game turned into total madness. Cameras caught King yelling, puffing his chest, and shouting that he was standing on business. The crowd froze. Nobody could believe what they were seeing. Things got so heated that T.I. had to jump in and physically grab his son, putting him in a real headlock in front of thousands of fans. That clip exploded online within minutes. It wasn't just a dad checking his kid, it looked like damage control happening live. For many, that headlock became a symbol of how far off the rails King had gone and how desperate T.I. was to pull him back before the family name took another hit. But the drama didn't stop there. Not long after, King was arrested when police allegedly found weed in his car. And boom, another mugshot hit the internet. The timing couldn't have been worse. Just days before he dropped a flashy music video packed with guns and tough talk, trying to prove he was built for the streets. Instead, it backfired, making him look like a young star spiraling out of control. Fans and critics went in on King hard. Some said he was acting like a fake gangster when everyone knew he grew up with money, while others argued he was just a lost young man spiraling without real guidance. Even Boozy jumped in, telling King to calm down before things got ugly. And when someone like Boozy says you're doing too much, that means you've stepped deep into dangerous territory. Meanwhile, T.I. looked like a man torn in half. On one side, he was trying to play the supportive dad, telling the public that King was still young and learning the ropes. But behind closed doors, insiders claimed his patience was wearing thin. How many more times could he defend King before fans stopped believing him? Every time he said, "It's just a phase," King pulled another stunt that made things 10 times worse. To outsiders, it looked like a father running out of excuses and a son who didn't care about the wreckage he was causing. But beneath the chaos, some people saw something way deeper. Maybe King wasn't just wilding out, maybe he was hurting. His clapbacks online showed a side most didn't expect. In one rant, King snapped, "If I'm the ugliest person in the world, what did that make you?" That wasn't just petty talk, that was pain spilling out. It sounded like someone who's been judged more than loved, criticized more than cared for. Fans started asking real questions. Is this about bad choices, or is it about feeling abandoned? If King really spent most of his childhood under his grandmother's care instead of his superstar parents, maybe that emotional distance left wounds deeper than anyone wanted to admit. Suddenly, all those outbursts, the meltdowns, the mugshots, the public fights, didn't just look like rebellion anymore. They looked like silent cries for help from a young man who didn't know where he fit in. And that's the real tragedy here. Underneath the memes, the gossip, and the endless headlines, there's a kid still trying to figure out who he is outside the shadow of T.I. and Tiny. Instead of being guided through the storm of fame, he's been left to stumble through it in real time. With the whole internet watching every mistake like it's a show, now with rumors spinning about his child, talk about his wild lifestyle, and whispers that T.I. might have actually cut him off, the emotional distance between father and son is impossible to ignore. People are asking the big question: is T.I. stepping back to protect his brand, or is he just a heartbroken dad who doesn't know how to reach his son anymore? Either way, one thing's for sure. Every meltdown makes the damage harder to fix, and every new headline drives that wedge even deeper. To really get how King ended up in this storm, you gotta rewind and look at where it all started. Clifford Joseph Harris Jr., better known as T.I., was already running the game back in the early 2000s. He dominated the charts with trap music and urban legend, and his name carried serious weight in hip-hop. But T.I. wasn't just rapping, he was building an empire. He launched Grand Hustle Records, starred in movies, dropped clothing lines, and even turned his family life into TV gold with T.I. and Tiny, the family hustle. On paper, it looked like the ultimate dream: money, fame, and a family empire built from Atlanta grit and luxury shine. But behind all the success, one truth slipped through the cracks. While T.I. was stacking wins, someone in the family was getting left behind, and that someone was King. Born in 2004, King didn't get to ease into fame, he was thrown straight into it. When The Family Hustle premiered in 2011, millions saw a picture-perfect household, a family laughing, thriving, and living big inside a mansion. But years later, King flipped that fairy tale upside down. He revealed it was all staged, saying he wasn't raised in that mansion at all. He was mostly living with his grandmother, far from the glitz and cameras. Whenever filming started, they'd scoop him up, tell him to smile for the scene, and then send him right back afterward. When that truth came out, it changed everything. Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe, like, and share button. Let's hear what you think this saga's next twist is gonna be.